Welcome to the latest episode of the M6P versus the MCU. I'm Jared. We got Darrin along with our Chicago guys, Rick and John, and we're going to be talking all things Secret Invasion. Darrin.
Oh gosh, where to start? Wow. So we've all been kind of like meh so far, and I think most of the internet's been like meh so far. And I was like, so going into this one, I'm like, oh, they're saving all the good stuff for the end. Well, I was wrong. Um, they tried. They failed miserably. It's like they didn't even try for this whole series. They have some of the biggest names out there, actors, actresses wise, and this is what we get. And then okay, so I'm gonna go down the list real quick because we're trying to make these shows short and sweet. Gravik at the end when he's screaming at Fury and they're well, it wasn't really Fury. Spoiler alert, it was Gaia. But when he's yelling, I'm like, oh, there he is acting. All right, he's gonna be Bob Marley too, by the way. All right, next on the list, I disappointed this whole series. Just really let me down. The one good thing, I'll say something good. Sonya Fallsworth, I did not expect to like her as much as she was great in the whole series. That's what kept me watching, I guess. But no, I just, man, it seemed it seemed very rushed. So that's all I got, really. Would love to know you guys' thoughts. I went again pretty quick. We're trying to keep these short, but yeah, let's go.
I disagree a little bit. I didn't think it was as terrible. Actually, today I sat down with Nick, well, not in person, but Nick Taylor, friend of the show, and him and I went through and listed the Marvel TV shows in order of where they ranked. And I ranked Secret Invasion for me in the middle. There was definitely a lot of filler for me, a lot of things that could have just like a lot of walking scenes, a lot of talking scenes. I want to see more of the action, kind of like we got in this episode. Um, but I think it kind of ranks in the middle. Sonya was by far the best part of this series. Just hearing her say "scrolls," that was my favorite. I just like to hear her say it. That'll be like my new ringtone is Sonya saying "scrolls," and I'll answer the phone and I will know who it is. But that I absolutely loved. I am interested to see where we're gonna go with Gaia. Is she the MCU version of Super Skrull? Or everyone assumed she was going to be Abigail Brand, and I see no hint of Abigail Brand. She's actually working with Sonya. She's not going up to space with Nick Fury. So I'm very interested to see where that goes. I love the Rhodey plot. We actually had somebody that wasn't a L-list character that was revealed as a Skrull. So he also was revealed in his gown. So my thought is like this was when he was in the hospital after he was injured in Civil War. So does he not know about Tony? Does he how has he really been gone for like 7 or 8 years in the MCU universe? So it's very middle tier for me.
I love. But I was to say I like this last episode. Going up into this one, it was kind of like, yeah, where are we going? We're kind of dragging this out. I picked up on that Rhodey wasn't Rhodey like right away, like his speech pattern and the way he acted and stuff like that when he was kind of giving Nick Fury his like walking papers kind of deal. That wasn't Rhodey. That wasn't his arrogance was just like too much. I was like, something's not right. One of these two is a Skrull hair because it's not playing out right. But I like the action in the end. Like Darrin said, yeah, you didn't get any definitive like Skrull powers that you were looking for, except for what maybe a fireball and a flaming fist every once in a while.
Oh,
But
they had everything, yeah.
but I didn't go into this all like hating it. I went into it with an open mind too. Yeah, everything's not been great for Marvel. I'm trying to like just take it all in now instead of just like listening to all the down points of everything of it. So compared to the most recent stuff, I kind of liked it. I didn't hate it. I see your points of like why you didn't like it, but it's kind of like fine for me.
All right. I will be closer to Darrin, if not more. I mean, yeah, there are definitely some good points to it. But I'm just trying to think of the show as I literally probably finished watching it about 20 minutes before we started recording this. So, and I didn't really have desire to keep up today. Like that's how interested I have been as it's come out. It didn't really catch my interest. And I think I don't mind. I like some of the less action shows if they're smart and funny or something like that. This was a spy show that wasn't smart. Like, I'm not the brightest guy, but it didn't outsmart me hardly at all. Like you said, you kind of knew Rhodey. I knew in this last episode that's not Fury. When he's giving himself the Super Skrull powers, I'm like, okay, that's going to be Gaia or some other Skrull, unless uh, Talos was somehow still alive. We lost Talos, but he's only been in one movie. Maria Hill dying in the first episode was probably and then Rhodey being a Skrull is probably the two. Actually, I guess, okay, so here's what I was thinking in the last episode. Maybe you guys can let me know what you think. I wish the last episode would have been the middle episode against them and all of those things. That seemed more interesting than anything that happened in the show. And so I don't know if that's building towards the Marvels or some other project. I guess that's where that's going. But my only other question I need to seriously ask you guys, because you may have caught it where I don't, I'm trying to think, why was her first power to make an icicle out of her hand, and which Marvel Cinematic Universe character makes icicles?
Good point. Yeah, that was one of the power. I noticed that too, John. Very astute observation. Yeah, like she had an ice sword. She just formed it.
Right.
It was from one of the
Iceman
frost giants. If you look at
they had frost giants blood.
Yeah, the list goes through.
Were they
in the first in like the third the first episode where we see Extremis and we see Groot and we see one of the I forget what they're called, from one of the monster that stayed after Thor 2, Dark World.
Valkyrie? No,
it
that's
was one of the
frost giants.
It was one of the frost beasts. He was left in the post credit scene.
Okay,
that's who was in there, and so that's what she formed.
That's how they got us.
Well, thank you. No, I was an honest question. I'm like, this isn't an X-Men hint of some kind or something. I'm just looking for Easter eggs that we're still not getting quite yet. But
where did they get Groot's DNA? Was it just tree sap?
He probably had pieces.
It was like the flora, whatever his thing. I saw that a couple of times because he had that first too. I think that was the way to make him Mr. Fantastic, so he could be stretchy, But it's he wasn't Clerk. He's not that Super Skrull, right?
Yeah. John, since you posed the question, I will as well. Do you know the whole build-up when like a guy was going in there as Nick Fury and like, oh, he loses his pills, and any minute you're gonna die without those pills. And then as soon as they rescue the people who are in the nuclear wasteland that the Skrulls kidnapped, like they're all walking away happy and stuff. I was like, 30 seconds into going in this joint, Nick Fury is coughing and hacking and falling over and like, and they have the truth. Like, right. Were they still in the nuclear wasteland? Did I miss something?
They were close to it, but they weren't in the heart of the reactor. I don't know if that makes a difference, but that's my point. And that's what I didn't like about the show, how it was not a smart show. Like him waiting till he walked into the reactor to take a pill. I'm like, is he just dumb? The show is dumb, or are we supposed to know that he's not affected by this because he's really a Skrull? And their own dumbness is the only thing that outsmarted me and not being able to figure out, like, what should it be? I don't know, because I don't know if they're that dumb that they, like, some things boil my blood. When the president took the gun from give me that gun. You're the president. You're not a guy. You're not trained. I don't know what this president came. Maybe he's a war hero, but no. You're the president. We protect you. You sit there in your bed. You don't take the gun. And then the standoff they had there. I don't know.
I really feel like Joe Biden would do that, though. He would totally do that.
I think he did. I think they'd give him a bubble gun.
Where am I? What's going on?
Wait, hold on. Let's get the fifth episode when they're building up at the end of the fifth episode. Fury's found his little secret cave of goodies, right? Hold on. And it's got all this super enhanced. It's the first time we see Fury really firing off some major technology, like shield technology, and it's like a whole bunker and everything. And he opens up the first thing, and it's like his eye patch,
right?
And the other one's his purple knit hat. Like,
right, like it was like a Netflix show when they don't put on the uniform. They're Daredevil's not Daredevil to the very last episode, and that was always what they did. And he's like, oh, I was a guy in a purple hat. Now I have an eye patch. Now I'm Nick Fury. It's
I
just
know.
I don't know. I feel like, here's my thought on that. And Darren and I discussed this a little bit pre-show. It's tough when Marvel shows are not at what they were. I feel like they needed to be great when they started because they were proving themselves. They had nothing, no audience. Now they've got the whole world watching, and they're just mailing it in, is what it feels like. It's not the wokeness. It's not the this. I feel like they're just mailing it in. They're just like, hey, we'll give them some more superheroes. We'll get some big names. They all want to cash a Marvel paycheck, but they're not delivering. They're not. I mean, this would have been a great series to really surprise or shock us with some scroll things, maybe even a little change. Even if it made me mad, even if it was like, that's stupid that they made this guy a scroll the whole time, at least I'd have a reaction that was more than, come on. I feel like it's homework to watch this stuff now. It's not fun. It's not something I look forward to as much, but I still do it. I don't know. It's like I'm obligated to it at this point, and they know that. And so they're just like, here's some more.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good point because you said you even forgot. Like, oh, I forgot this. But I remember when Loki came out, it was every Thursday morning I was ready to go. I knew that, sometimes I didn't sleep. I was like, because I know the episode's going to air at 3. So if my brain just happens to wake me up at 3:05, I know I've got something to do. And it was the same way with Hawkeye, and it was the same way with WandaVision. Like, I just could not wait to get downstairs. Like, that was always my rest day from the gym because I was just going to spend that time. There was after credit scenes. That was really cool. There were for a show like Secret Invasion, this is the perfect one to have Easter eggs and that kind of stuff. And to another point that I was talking to John and Rick about a little bit earlier, I think we all kind of had this show built up because we've all read Secret Invasion, the comic. We knew it was going to be great, and we've all loved, I think I can speak for all of us, we all loved Winter Soldier. And so when we saw Secret Invasion, like the trailer, like, oh, it's Secret Invasion and Winter Soldier, but for the TV. This is going to be great. And we've definitely got more of an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of show. So I think with that, with our expectations, and also with the last Ms. Marvel, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Eternals, Thor 4, all of that coming right before this, I think it just makes Secret Invasion stink more than maybe it even does. Because we just like, give us another No Way Home. Give us something to like cheer for,
Right.
I like seeing Skrulls as villains, like they're supposed to be, instead of we're just hiding out, good guys now. So,
and there's still some Skrulls on Earth, a lot of them. Sonya, what's Sonya doing with them?
Right. Well, that was the other thing. Again, like I said, there's a lot more things that are easy to notice, not so smart as I keep saying. But okay, I thought it was cool. Talos, they snuck in 1 million Skrulls during the blip because all these people disappeared. What a perfect time to do it. And he made that comment. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then, like, when the Skrulls die, they change back to Skrull form. And if there's 1 million of them over the past 5 years, probably 50,000 of them died, right? And nobody noticed that maybe there was a damage control, but it wasn't. It was just Nick Fury. I also didn't like that Nick Fury's whole background now was he was just a Skrull friend and not like a secret agent. Like that was just his whole secret agent business. This show made it seem like was just hiding Skrulls instead of a lot of the other military espionage kind of stuff that he's been known for. And I didn't care for him to have a love story. That's not a side of Nick Fury I'm super interested in.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
Yeah, the whole Fury and his wife, and like the last scene of the whole series is when she finally goes into Skrull form. It's like, oh, you love me now? You're gonna kiss me like this? And they build it up, and he kissed her. I mean, so like this is the first time we've ever seen Samuel L. Jackson actually play Nick Fury consistently throughout his own thing. For the most part, he's always been Nick Fury in one of the movies. I don't know. I just feel like Sam Jackson didn't care. I love Sam Jackson. I don't feel like he cared too much. Like there wasn't anything that reminded me of Nick Fury, and not just from the comics, but from Sam Jackson's previous performances. Nothing about this characterization of him in this show reminded me of either the MCU version of himself that he's played, or the comics.
It very much
I
reminded me
agree.
of Professor X in the comic books. You guys are familiar. Professor was, the founding member of the X-Men. He was a great guy, a stand-up guy, trying to, protect the mutants from a world that fears and hates them. And then just slowly, year after year, since Deadly Genesis, they kind of turned him into, well, actually, he did this bad thing. He actually
Yeah.
sent a whole team of X-Men to Krakoa. They all died,
Yeah.
and he just never told you. And actually, he'd been pining after Jean since she was a teenager, and we just didn't tell you. And oh, he's got this kid, and like he's just like this jerk of a guy, and used to love him. He's not Professor X at all, and that's exactly, Darrin, to your point, is that was Nick Fury is not the Nick Fury I knew since Iron Man. I don't know this guy now. He's a totally different character.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just all men of a certain age who grew up in the same era of comics and stuff. But man, this is such a cliche, but this isn't. I mean, that wasn't my Nick Fury. I mean,
No.
maybe. Yeah.
What if he's just an LMD and then Hasselhoff comes down?
We talked about this. I know.
And we never got the
I hope
LMDs.
he's an
Yeah.
LMD.
Yeah, we didn't. We did not get the LMDs. And so I guess another question is, so does the Earth still think that Nick Fury killed Maria Hill?
No, I don't think so. I think they know about the scrolls now, so that could have been explained away. They may, but then so here's one more thing I wanted to mention. You talked about Gaia and Sonya, that little partnership at the end, which way it would go. And it probably won't. I mean, and that would be a long way away, because Gaia's now got to be the most powerful superhero in the MCU. But the way she looks, and she's half Skrullish, and now she's working with the British agents, I kind of get like a Megan vibe from Excalibur. Like, she was a shapeshifter too. Maybe we could get, although she may be more of a Captain Britain, the way she's almost as powerful as him. So, and she kind of, did she have purplish hair? No, so maybe she's, I don't know. I'm stretching there, but
no,
again,
I agree with that
that's
theory,
some
John.
X-related thing as usual. Go ahead.
No, I can't wait to see Gaia show up in the new Wonder Man show.
Yeah, I was hoping, and for a minute I thought, what's his name, Gravik. That could have been a good. That could have been a Wonder Man origin. Go through that thing and work for the bad guys, and then they would kill him. But we'll find out what Wonder Man's origin is soon enough. But with the writer strike and the actor strike, it might not be till 2029. So we'll see. We might not have any shows to talk about. So get reading the books,
okay. They don't make enough in AIs here.
Well, and the CEO of Disney has said there's way too much Marvel and way too much Star Wars coming up. So don't expect to get everything that we've announced. And if there's no production on some of these shows, like, unfortunately, we're still going to get Echo. There's nothing you can do about that. But they're going to release it all in one day. It's all together. But I mean, maybe shows like Wonder Man, Secret Invasion season 2, Ms. Marvel season 2, that kind of stuff might not happen.
Right, and that might not be the worst thing in the world either. So we'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. It's like twice the MCU's. First, COVID had shut everything down, pushed it all back. Now the strike's going to push everything down, push it all back again. So
be 60 years old by the time we get X-Men.
Right.
It's going to be terrible.
But Hugh Jackman will still look great, I bet. So
still put the mask on.
All righty, good stuff. Lots of good stuff. Okay, so to cap off right before Marvel trivia, I guess let's just go into what's this? Did they just say we're going to have a Super Scroll to help sell the show? Because for me, that wasn't, again, back to the same thing with Nick Fury. That wasn't my Super Scroll, nor how they handled him or any aspect. To take I think they took a lot away. I get it. The movies have to be different. Sorry, Jared. But they took away a lot of the history of what the Super Scroll is and how old it, and how important that character is to the comics and everything. And I get you have to change certain things for the movies, but they went to the extreme on the Super Scroll.
I'm hoping maybe she shows up with a dragon, and then I would be totally fine with that. Kind of bring Game of Thrones and the MCU together.
Right. Call him Lockheed, and then you could bring the X-Men in there too, and we're good. We're all.
He is
Don't give him
Megan.
ideas.
You're right.
Don't give him ideas, John, in case they're watching.
But hey, they need writers, guys. Let's get on it. We'll do scabs. We'll cross the ticket line. We'll get it. We'll get it right there.
We're cheap.
So wait, we're bringing in dragons, but they're real small.
Yeah, right. Save tons on the budget. You can make them with
Teeny-tiny
AI.
dragons.
We'll get Rick. We'll get your dog Drax, and we'll just put him in a costume, and there's your dragon.
Yeah, we'll eat everything.
Okay, one more thing. How silly was that when her arm grows and I was like, is that Drax's arm? And it was. It had the tats and everything. I was like, and then she looks at it and smiles. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. That says everything I need to know about this show.
I did like the aspect of the harvest. I would say that maybe not necessarily how it was executed, but I did like how that does make sense. That was something that Fury would do, is at the Battle of Endgame that he would go out and get the contingency plan for all these people's blood. I did like that, the harvest. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I just don't like that it would be one thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That was
You know, it should be, and maybe that'll be used later. That'll be the new thing to chase.
Yeah.
There's no Infinity Stones or whatnot.
And everybody becomes a superhero. Just one little jab.
Right.
And they were able. Fury was able to fit all that superhero DNA into one vial, all of them into one vial, and all it took for Gravik was to do right on scene is plug it in a laptop, and it's shooting out superpowers. Oh, this show was great. All right, and with that, off to some Marvel trivia.
Hey, Darren, if the Super Skrull had a purple and black leotard on, would you have liked it? Or unitard?
I mean, if it was still done. Wait, what? All right, and with that, off to some Marvel trivia.
All right, time for some Marvel trivia. My favorite part of the show. We really talk about the MCU stuff just so we can get to the trivia and have an excuse. The trivia game is from 2001, so it's a little bit dated because we're in 2023, which is insane that this game is that old. So some of the questions are dated. Some questions that have a level 5 are probably ones today, but there are 5 questions on each card, and they are ranked in order of toughness from 1 to 5. So each player will be able to pick what number they want to wager, and whoever gets 15 points wins. As always, we go alphabetical. So we got Darren, John, and then Rick. So Darren, what number would you like?
3.
We're going to get a 3 right from the middle here. And we've got, what is Daredevil's father's name?
I can't believe. Oh my gosh! It's just because it's Daredevil. I know the
character. Daredevil's father's name.
Yeah.
Did he say it?
I was way off. Go ahead, John. My favorite character.
Did you say a name?
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you, Darren.
Jared gave me the stink eye.
No, I gave you the eye.
Right.
Oh, fair enough.
All right. Yes, you are correct. Badland Jack Murdoch. Good job. All right, John.
All right, we'll stick with the 3s. Let's see how they hit us.
What is Luke Cage's superhero name?
Power Man.
Power Man. Now, for today, that would be like a level 1. But back in 2001, who's Luke Cage?
Right. Luke Cage had... Right.
He's running around with the Heroes for Hire. Okay. Mr. O'Callaghan.
I'll go with 3.
3? What team is Meltdown with? What team is Meltdown with? Definitely a sign of the times question.
Sure is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on that one.
I get it.
Meltdown is with X-Force. She's also known as Boom Boom or Boomer.
Yeah.
But She went through that period after Sabretooth messed her up and she cut her hair off and was like, meltdown.
She had a Britney moment.
Yes. Yes, she did. Lots of purple and yellow. All right, Darrin.
3.
3. Which villain is a master of disguise? Could be like 30 different characters.
Yeah. Chameleon, Mysterio. It's Mysterio, but Mysterio, Chameleon. Wait.
Well, how many
Maybe?
answers do we get to give?
Mysterio?
It's Chameleon. Which one did you say first, bro?
I mean technically Chameleon, but
No, did you say Chameleon first?
Jared, it's a mole. I got it.
Are Darrin and I having audio issues? Can he hear me?
I heard
can
you.
hear
We're
you.
fine.
No, I was saying, did you say Chameleon or Mysterio first?
I feel like you said Chameleon. I think you should get the points.
That's what I'm
I know,
asking
but I
you.
really thought it was Mysterio, so I can't.
Oh, no, bro. If you said Chameleon first, you get the points.
Yeah,
It
but
is
I
a
corrected
tricky-
myself.
Yeah,
I mean,
could have
you-
went with Master. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what you
All right,
said.
guys. Fine, I'll
Yeah,
take the
go for
points.
it. Go for it. This is a bloody game, Darrin. These two are out to win. All right, John.
I'll go for 3.
3. Who is Scott Summers / Cyclops' younger brother?
Alex Summers / Havoc.
Ooh, very fancy answer. Yes. All right, Rick. You gonna get on the board?
I'm gonna go with 4 to step it up a little.
Oh, all right. Here we go. 4. Who does Jubilee think of as a mother figure?
Storm.
White Queen.
Me.
No.
She
Was that the answer?
What?
She was in Generation
Oh.
X at that time. So Banshee
Okay,
and
I was
Emma
thinking of Kitty
Frost were.
Pride. Yeah. You
So
were probably
Banshee
thinking
and
Kitty Pryde
Emma
too,
Frost
right?
were running Generation X, and that's who she was.
Yikes, that would have been my guess too, Storm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have gone with Storm as well, Rick. All right, Darrin.
3.
3. What is Cable's main power? His main power.
I had this before. Oh man.
Cable's main power.
I can't say it right offhand. I've had this before. I'm not gonna even take a guess because
Okay, all right. It was telekinesis / telepathy.
that's what I was gonna say.
I feel like it was on the tip of your tongue, man.
Right.
All right, Mr. Coughlin. Officer Coughlin.
Deputy.
Dep-
No. 3, please.
3. This is ridiculous. John is getting like the easiest questions.
I just make it look easy, Darrin. No, I'll get this one wrong.
Everybody quiet for this, okay? John needs to
Okay.
concentrate. What is Spider-Man's motto?
Well, Spider-Man talks a lot, so it could be many different things. You know, he likes to say, "I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man." He likes to say, but I would think that with great power comes great responsibility would be the motto of
That is
Spider-Man.
correct. That is correct. Meanwhile, Rick is like, who's Jubilee's mother figure and who's Meltdown?
Right. If you would have read Generation X and X-Force, you would have been right. That's going to be, it's all straight out of those. Young X-Men that aren't core characters. That's what you need to know.
So now I
the
just
one-
gotta go. I
that's
gotta
one
go
chapter you
5
didn't
or
read.
whatever every time
want
now
5?
to catch up. Yeah,
All right.
sure.
Rick wants 5.
Oh wow.
Okay. In what issue
Oh,
did John Jameson, who is Jonah Jameson's son, make his first appearance?
Oh, it's an issue 1.
Web of Spider-Man 199.
Oh, you should have listened to Darrin. It was Amazing Spider-Man #1.
I didn't
Did
say
it
that.
really?
Darrin, you said it was a #1, didn't you?
He said it's an issue 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. issue
like,
number
No,
I
one.
think you,
no, it's
I
an
think
issue
it's
one. I meant issue one, like it's an issue
an issue
question.
question.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, issue
That's
one.
how
I
I
get
said
it. Yeah, that's confusing.
But it was good advice, whether you knew it or not. Yeah.
My fault.
I can't
All
believe
right,
you.
3. Wait, you're up.
Three.
Sorry.
Who is Deadpool's best friend and arms supplier? Best friend and arms supplier of Deadpool.
I don't think we've ever had this one before.
I don't think so. Just lots of dead air. Weasel. Weasel. All right. You knew that one, Rick?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was in the movie. Right.
Yeah, he was in the movie too.
All right, John.
All
Well,
right.
this
We'll
is
go
from
with
2002.
3 again.
3. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Okay. Which supervillain turned Angel into Archangel?
I know it was not Dr. Octopus.
I'm just
And
messing with you guys now. That's
Mr. Mixoplick is DC. I'm, I'm going to go with Apocalypse. Final answer.
correct. You're correct with Apocalypse. Does that put you at 12?
It does put me at 12.
Okay.
A perfect 12, I'll say.
Yes, deputy. All right, Rick, 3. Or is that a gang sign?
Yeah, it was gang sign.
Okay, all right. For the police officer.
Yeah, West yell.
All right. Oh gosh, poor Rick. Okay. What year was Steve Rogers born?
Really? I feel like I'm being set up this time. It's like you got a separate pile for me over there.
Oh my gosh, Rick. My head hurts from laughing.
I don't know.
Huh.
1920.
Oh, so close. 1922. Oh,
Ah,
so close.
That's those.
I'll just, so no one thinks I'm cheating. Here's the whole deck. I'll pull the card out, and then Darrin, you tell me what number.
I don't think you're cheating, but I'll go 3.
All right. What do Thor and the Norse gods call Earth?
Midgard.
Midgard. Very
Boom.
good. Boom.
Wrapping them up.
Are we playing up to a certain number or a certain number of rounds?
15 wins. First to 15 wins the
So
game.
I'll need 3 to win. So I will take a 3.
It'll be like spell Marvel. All right.
Hold on.
I think John is about to take it home, guys. I'm sorry. Some of Captain America's enemies like to dress like snakes.
Oh,
Who are they?
Come on.
Well, a society of people to dress like serpents would have to have a moniker that fits their talents and their kinks and fetishes. I'm going to call them the Serpent Society.
Oh my gosh. The Serpent
Cobra?
Society.
Cobra would be good. And that would be a great crossover, but no.
Yep.
Congratulations, John. How many times have you won trivia?
4 or
time.
5, I think. I don't know. Yeah. A couple. I've been on a streak lately. I've been on a streak the last few times. So I feel like I got the hang of it. Did all my 2001 rereading.
Right. Don't read anything past that for
No.
this.
I kind of did go back on the Marvel Unlimited app and reread all the old Avengers and all the old X-Men, like the Claremont X-Men run and the Roger Stern Avengers.
Yeah.
Those help, So
Yeah. So Rick, next time, lots of mid-90s X-Force, okay?
Oh yeah,
like
definitely.
this, I got
100%.
in my Marvelous box, which is the best book to come out of it yet. And I had already reread those on the app, but now I have them in like touchable form. And the only one I didn't read, I was actually read first two issues was the Avengers versus the X-Men here, which maybe we can talk about in the future because it features pretty much the Outback team of X-Men, which is a team that's really popular but not covered a lot. And I think everybody on the M6P seems to always vote them as their favorite version of the X-Men, right?
Yeah, Outback is
You
a
know what
good
I mean?
time.
Yeah. So, well,
Well, congratulations to John. Thank you all for joining us. And until next time, make yours the M6P.